Hey guys, it's Matt, Overland Squared. And while this was supposed to be a full-length video, it's going to end up somewhere in between. Because while the camping setup was perfect, changes I had made as far as equipment and cleaning and organization all worked out fantastic. But, and that's a big but, the tech side of things, complete freaking nightmare. The good news, the trip was just too good not to put something out. And just a side note, I did add a bottle of Windex and some paper towels to the rig. Take care of things like that beautiful little bug on the windshield. But we'll get into those issues a little bit later. Let's focus on what's important, and that's the trail and the trip. And this trail and trip were fantastic. I'm definitely going to save this one as one of my hidden gems, especially for early summer months, as it sounds like the trail does get quite busy during hunting season in Colorado. But for now, let's talk about the trail. This is Red and White Mountain, moderate trail, difficulty 4 out of 10, plan on about 3.5 hours. It's a total distance of about 16 miles. I started the trail in Avon, and if you do this, I would suggest the same. It takes only a mile or so before you're starting this climb. Multiple switchbacks. You cut through aspen groves, deep forest, and everyone's favorite, a few water crossings. Not to mention great views of Vail Mountain. This trail is located on the north side of I-70, directly across from Vail Mountain. And given the proximity to Vail, Avon, and the I-70 corridor, I expected to see a lot more people. I think I counted 2, maybe 3, on the moderate section of the trail in the 2 days I was there. It is dispersed camping along this route. I will say, the closer you are to Avon, the fewer established sites there are. If you do set up your own site, make sure to follow the leave no trace policy. And if you're like me, you don't mind the solitude. Kind of nice not having to deal with neighbors, traffic, dusty roads, and all that comes with. Now you may be watching this and wondering how this trail gets a 4 out of 10. Honestly, there's only 2 sections that are challenging. One coming in from the Avon side that has an easy bypass, and the other on the way out or in from the Vail side that would be a challenge for anything without any clearance. But as you know, the easier it is to get to, the more people you're going to deal with. Now that we've covered the trail, let's talk about the issues. If you've been following the channel, you know that I'm new to this. And this was the final kind of shakedown camping test prior to starting the Colorado backcountry discovery route in mid-July. Now it wasn't perfect, and I did have to make one hopefully last purchase, and that is a propane fueled campfire. Because most of the counties, including Eagle, went into level 1 fire restriction after this trip. And I'm expecting that to be the case for most counties along the route that I'll be taking in July. Back to the issues. The real issues came with filming and audio. I have been so focused on the camping and getting better at driving and off-roading that I really haven't paid a whole lot of attention to testing out camera equipment and getting familiar with the ins and outs of it. And everything went wrong on this one. From my GoPro, which unbeknownst to me had an hour and a half of footage on it from some of my kids' old hockey games. It was a nice discovery, and I got to watch some versions of their younger selves. But when the camera fills up a third of the way into the trip and you're trying to produce a video, that's a problem. The other real issue was the exterior mics. I don't know if I just haven't figured it out yet, but nothing had audio. And on top of that, a lot of my video just wasn't good. Now I'm just going to blame it on the fact that I was, distracted by the beauty. But when I started this channel, I wanted to be honest. And when I have issues and when I have struggles, I want to let you guys know. Because if there's one thing we all have in common, it's that things go wrong on camping trips. Nothing ever goes to plan. And it's about how we overcome those challenges that really make memories. And this is a trip I won't soon forget. Now, videoing and all that wasn't all bad. I did manage to get some shots that I really kind of liked. But there was one last fail. And that was the drone. So here in a second you'll see, set this shot up. Gonna follow the Jeep on the way out. We're at the kind of early phase, the easy part of this trail. And as I get the drone up in the air and it's starting to follow me, it reaches its limit, it won't keep following, and then a white 2-wheel drive minivan comes into frame. And the drone decides it'd rather follow it. Now my pride can only take so much, so I did cut that part out. What I did manage to capture, I was actually kind of pleased with. And I can say I've spent some time over the past few days finding a way to practice setting up this drone. And in a weird way, I like this part. Identifying a problem, discovering a solution, dedicating time to get better. And I want to thank you for following along. If you want to see more successes and fails, hit that like and subscribe, follow the channel, and as always, be safe.